Hey y'all, so I'm about to start the first book, Red Rising. Okay, I'm super excited. I just reread the blurb and I'm super excited about the story. I just want to get to know Darrow so much. I want to know the situation. I want to get into it. I'm also very excited to be reading a sci fi because I haven't read sci fi. Well, I've read sci fi recently, but I haven't gotten into a good sci fi series in a little while. Well, no, that's a lie also. Jesus. I definitely need to expand my knowledge, my sci fi knowledge. So, this is one of the steps forward for sci fi because it's been on my TBR for so long. So, I'm super excited. Yeah, I'm gonna get cozy and chill with the kitty cat. And he's literally looking at me and waiting for me to finish filming so he can come lay on me. So, I'm gonna do that and I'll keep y'all posted. Okay, y'all, it is late. I have to go to sleep. I have work in the morning, but I wanted to give a little bit of an update. I am currently at 21%. I'm on chapter 11. I'm hooked. I don't know how to explain it better than this. I am absolutely hooked. I I will say it took me a while to get used to how it's written because the author writes in very small little phrases and I'm used to really long ones. And also it felt a little clunky at first. I feel like now I've gotten the groove of it. It's much smoother, but it felt a little bit clunky. But I am hooked. I'm hooked onto the world. I'm hooked onto the inevitable character development and growth that we are going to see coming. I really like our main character, and how he's like completely brainwashed, um, and how he's slowly starting to see the world. I kind of already anticipated that he had to die to be then revived because it made no sense. How was he going to infiltrate the golds if, he was registered as a red? I didn't realize at the time when I thought he has to die that it's also like exterior, like skin tone or like hue and like hair color, eye color, that also kind of impacts it. But my thought process was like he has to die or fake his own death, right? So that they don't catch on to who he is. It's not exactly as I thought it would be, but basically, yeah. It's also very sad what happened to his wife, but also very like what a man thing to experience where your wife is literally telling you exactly what she needs you to do and yet you cannot figure it out. It's like she's talking in riddles, but yet she's being very blunt. Brother. But I thought that was funny. I also didn't realize how evolved things were. I realized that like they were living underground and being lied to because that's just the premise of the book, but I didn't quite realize it was to the point where most of the solar system was conquered. You know? A few things here and there, but most of the solar system basically is conquered and done, and that is wild to me. I'm really loving the book. I'm absolutely hooked. And if it weren't for the fact that I am getting really sleepy and that I have work in the morning, you best believe I would keep reading. It's literally 2 in the morning. That's my TLDR for right now. I'm gonna go sleep and I'll keep y'all posted on, any further thoughts and whatever it is. Hey y'all, let me give you a little bit of an update. I'm in chapter 30. I'm at 60% of the book. And a lot has happened, and I want to get a little bit down to the nitty gritty because I have a gigantic headache and I am gaining the courage to like just wind down and read. So I wanted to give you a little bit of an update before I read further along. I don't even know where to begin. This is such like, there's a lot. This is a lot. Right now, I'm at the point where Darrow is at the academy. And they're in that big test where they all live as tribes and they have to attack each other. It's kind of like catch the flag. That's the idea they give. And it's after he killed the dude that was running around raping people, right? But I don't want to get into that part yet. I want to go all the way to the where we left off. So he gets turned into a gold by this red faction, and this is the first part where I have criticism, but also I'm in awe. First of all, what do you mean you can change someone to that, like to bone density level? You can change everything. You can literally remove their eyeball, put a new one. What? That is so wild to me. Like, that is unimaginable to me. How they can like deconstruct their muscles, they can like rebuild everything. That is absolutely wild. It doesn't make any logical sense when you think of like, I don't know, dude. It's so incredible to me that scientifically, right? Because this used to be our world in this book. Scientifically, it got to the point where that's how advanced the world here is, which you would assume because they literally conquered the entire solar system. But at the same time, a lot of these like sci-fi books, they are really advanced in one area but not really the other, and the fact that they can like change their appearance, like there's people walking around with wings that they cannot use but still wings attached to their bodies and like things, like it's so wild to me that that is an option. So I really like that sci-fi aspect of it. But on the opposite side, I feel like the part where he was literally put into multiple operations, going in through this like really traumatic experience, into a lot of pain and suffering and like just trauma, to change himself completely, to then fight for this dream of his wife's, which wasn't even his, right? He was more into the whole revenge thing. I feel like it was really glossed over how bad it was. And the easiest way I could explain this to myself in my own brain was he basically like told us what he was going through versus us watching him go through it. Him telling us is like, oh yeah, I went through this, he did this, and then I woke up and I was really groggy and I was in so much pain. It was so terrible. Like it was the worst time of my life. I absolutely hated it. And obviously you have some empathy when you hear this. But it's not like you don't feel it for them. It's not, there's a limit on the amount of depth it can have. It's just very shallow. The explanations are shallow, the feelings are shallow, right? Versus when they literally make you live through it with them, like Alchemized, where you go through it with them in their own heads of what they're thinking, the actual piece by piece feelings and emotions in the moment. It's very different. And I'm not saying he's telling us from the past, but literally the way it's written is like him in his own voice explaining as it was going through, as it was happening, but explaining versus relaying what was happening, it's different. It's different. My example explains it better than my explanation does. Doesn't, like, you know what I mean? I felt like the book lost a lot in that part because it lacked the depth, and I couldn't feel it for him. I also know that wasn't the focal point. Okay, that was supposed to be part of like the first intro of the book. The first intro of the book, a lot happens and it's very quick. Like, it's not rushed, but it's also not, it doesn't take its time. Like a lot of other authors would have made just this first part, it's one book, or like 50% of a book, okay? And I'm at 60 and so much has happened since then, okay? So much. That being said, he then goes into like training into Gold Society so he can mix in with Gold Society, and it's wild. Like the level of detail that was put into this is absolutely wild to me. Also, how he is... Also, there's also another part where, like, he is very smart. He is very, like... He has a lot of plasticity in his thought process. Like, he can really think outside of the box a lot, and he adapts really easily to just different situations, which makes sense since he works high pressure in the tunnels, and he's one of the, like, you know, more in-depth reacher dudes, so it makes sense. But at the same time, like, how good can you be at something? Like, it comes to a point where your character is too good at things, and it's almost like, when is the shoe gonna drop? Because either he's so good at things and then he gets there to the academy and then he's absolute shit and he gets humbled, or he's really, really good but it's like almost suspicious, and like, how is he gonna learn lessons? You know, how much better do others have to be to actually prove a challenge to him? Because at some point he won't be challenged at all if he's that good, right? But then other people are really good in other things that are very important as well. So instead of having everyone compete for one thing, you have various different characters for various different things. Like, so I think that's also complemented very well, and it's very interesting to see like society as like the goals in their view of things, but also him being like, I hate these people, these are terrible, but then he's making friends and actually liking them, and he's like kind of struggling a little bit with that. So it's interesting to see that as well, even though there's not a lot of emotional depth. There's anger, but not a lot of emotional depth for someone that was killed, revived, then kind of sort of killed again, because himself, the only thing he remains from the past is his memories and his name, nothing else, and then put into this really high stakes situation, high pressure situation. I think it's just missing a little bit, just a little bit. I'm not saying it's not a good approach. I'm just saying like there could be a bit more depth in when it comes to the emotions. That being said, I actually got to this like right before I got home because I was listening to the audiobook as well, because I'm doing both. I'm reading and listening to the audiobook. And he was like,
he was killing this dude that was like raping women and just treating everyone like absolute trash. Like it was inhumane the way he treated these people. Gold or not, it was inhumane. And he was in like they captured him, whatever, and he was like, why did you do this? Why did you do this? Why did you like this doesn't make sense. And he figures out that this dude is actually red. He's another red turned golden. I don't even know what to think about this, because like he assumes automatically that someone else is trying to do this as well, and that the other dudes, the other reds, don't know. The dancer doesn't know. I don't think that's the case, because they mentioned also that in the past they have tried it before, but it wasn't successful. And I think this is what they meant by successful, because I think they just simply go insane and the mental fortitude of other experience weren't good. So maybe they achieved like the physical results they wanted, but they didn't reach the mental capacity and strength to handle the change, the trauma, everything, and then facing reality and adapting to reality. I find it funny how Darrow just assumes that Dancer doesn't know any of it. And I'm like, I'm pretty sure he's one of his failed experiments, dude. I've prolonged myself a lot already, so I'm gonna go read. Hopefully my headache gets a little bit better. It's slightly better because I ate something. Okay, y'all, I finished it. It is done. I finished it completely. I mostly listened to the book instead of reading it, okay? I've been struggling a lot with headaches, and looking at a screen is not really helpful, so I've been listening to it while doing other things and while it's working. I have a lot of thoughts, and I think the way to sum it up is that it wasn't what I expected, and that is pretty surprising to me. Okay, I don't know what exactly I was expecting, but it wasn't this. You get to this one point where I wish I had recorded this, because I was literally at work just listening to my audiobook while responding to some emails and things. I had to literally pull out my headphones and just drop them. I was so annoyed. So this dude, there's this one scene where this dude is sleeping. Someone goes to his door, is like, hey, our friend, he has shown up. We found him. Come, like, we found him. He follows them out of the castle, sprints in the middle of nowhere, and then, light bulb moment, this is a trap. So he ducks into the tall grass and hides from everyone else. Just randomly, no one sees him. He escapes. He waits until the morning when his other friend that had been traveling comes back. They go back to the castle and he's safe. He has backup. Everything's okay. That same day, that same night, this friend goes and gets him. And it's like, oh my god, like, we found this, like, I know where they are, come on, let's go. And he just walks out the door, gets on a horse, and just goes. Motherfucker. Even I can tell that this is a trap, and it's the exact same MO as the night before. It has barely been 24 hours since they last tried this trick with you, and you still fell for it. Like, come the fuck on. What do you mean you fall for this twice? I'm frustrated. It frustrates the living crap out of me. I don't think you understand. But yeah, like, the story moves on. He fights, and then there's a lot of other things. I just don't have much to say, because I wasn't expecting it to be a war book, basically, like a strategy war book. Like, I was expecting it to be a bit more diverse. In terms of, like, the challenges, in terms of, like, what was gonna happen in the school year, because I thought he was starting school already. I didn't think this was, like, the entrance exam to the university or school or whatever the fuck that is, right? That's not what I thought it was. It got really stuck on just the fighting and the mechanics of it, the strategy, the how people work, how to, like, be a better leader, how to all those things, which I do understand why this is happening, because character build up, right? He's becoming more, and he was kind of getting sucked into the whole thing of what the goals want from us, so that's what I'm going to be doing, to making his own spin of things. So I understand why, like, it was the way it was, and I still found all of that very interesting. It just wasn't what I was expecting of it. And it got to a point where it was like, okay, it's another battle one, it's another strategy, which was very cool strategies, very twists and turnsies and everything. And I don't know if his really, really good friend Cassian, like, he's a hypocrite. He's a fucking hypocrite. You want to get mad because he lied? Sure. But, like, what other option did he have? It was kill or be killed. And your brother was just not, he was not going to survive no matter whom was in the room with him. Even if it was you and your brother, you would not sacrifice yourself for your brother. So fuck off. Like, what is all of that, okay? I will say I like the goblin dude, the wolf dude, so much. Severin. I like him so much. He's one of my favorite characters. Genuinely one of my favorite characters, okay? Like, I just really, really like him a lot. And also his father, I think he's in on the revolution thing. I think he is. And I don't know why, but one of the theories I have of why is that maybe his son is a mix of blood, of gold and red. One of the things, the main problems I have with this book is that, like, it doesn't make sense. His personality doesn't make sense. So the first part of the book, he's a teenager, he's a child, he's a very cocky, self-assured child, and obviously he gets faced with reality and everything, and he goes through excruciating pain and all of that thing, whatever, and he comes out, and he's still a child. He's still like, I think initially he's 16, he ends up being what, around 17 by the time he goes into the school, or maybe like a little bit before that. He seems like he's 30. Like, that is the vibe he gives. He gives 30. He's 30 years old. That's what he gives. And his cockiness, his childness, his adolescence isn't very prevalent. And maybe listening to the audiobook had this effect, but I honestly, it's just the confidence that you see, the reassurance, the brutality of it. It's just so adulty that I don't know what to believe in his voice, because then there's moments where he's just an utter child. He doesn't there is no like smooth fluctuation. It goes from one point to the other immediately. It's like just a straight line to the other, to the opposite edge. Yeah, I struggled a little bit with that, because at times he was very mature, at times he was very dumb, at times he was very childish. Yeah, book one done. 4 or 5 to go. I don't even know.
They just revealed who Ares was this entire time, and let me tell you this. I knew. I already knew. From the first book, because it was so stupid, right? Like, how do we have a house Ares in the games with a figurehead as Ares himself? We call him Ares, and literally the opposition is named Ares. Like, or the whatever of Ares, right? Like, and how do people do 1 plus 1 equals 2? Because that was literally my first thought. Was like, this is gotta be Aries, because how is this even a coincidence? It cannot be a coincidence, right? But like, I gaslighted myself into not believing it, because come on, it doesn't make, like, why would you do it this way? Like, why it's been him all along. I was right. Fuck off. I'm pissed. I'm pissed, because like, and I'm not even pissed at the book. I'm pissed at myself, because I didn't believe in what my sixth sense was telling me. And also because, like, this is the type of bullshit I would pull off if I was the author, because there's nothing like putting something very obvious right in front of you and you're going to discard it as, nah, it's not possible, and then it really is. Or like saying that something is true and everyone's paranoid about it, and then in the end there's nothing for them to find. Like, these little mind games, I know I would pull one of these. I'm 100% sure of it, okay? Doesn't mean I'm less frustrated by it, because literally, come on. I don't even know how I feel about this book. Genuinely, I don't know. I don't know how I feel about this book. I don't even know if I'm liking the series at this point. Does that make sense? Like, because part of me is interested by it, and there's a few characters I absolutely love, but part of me is like, am I liking this? Like, because there's so much going on, there's so much. I need to like take a breath and like figure out, am I really enjoying this, or is this just me like wanting to enjoy it? Like, genuinely. So I just wanted to pause it there, because I just got to that part in the audiobook, and I wanted to make sure, and I wanted to record like my thoughts, because god damn it, what do you mean? This might sound really fucking silly, but my heart is beating in my chest like crazy. He's showing Mustang his family, and he's gonna meet up with his family for the first time in so long. My heart is in my chest. Oh my god. I can't. I'm so... My heart is running wild too, dude. I'm so nervous. She's had a stroke. Where's Mustang going anyways? Because we know she's not going to betray him. Can't believe Rogue betrayed him. The children? Who the fuck are... Who killed the children? Dissection? They know he's a red. How did the jackal know? Shit. Jackal killed his own brother. All these people are fucking crazy. He killed his father. What's inside the box? They killed Ares. They killed Fitchner. What? How does the jackal know? I also think, like, this dude is really fucking stupid because, like, the last thing he should have done was go into the mines. Because, like, he's basically like, people are gonna wonder, what are you doing here? They're gonna ask questions. And then, especially the stupid ass jackal that has eyes and ears everywhere, he's gonna ask questions. So it was very stupid of him to go. But, like, what do you mean? What do you mean? At least it wasn't Sephiroth. I'm telling you, if Sephiroth dies, I'm gonna lose my fucking mind. Oh, Lord. Fuck. Okay, y'all, I was about to sit down and start book 3 when I realized I haven't actually sat down and told you about book 2. Sometimes I have a hard time, like, evaluating these middle books in a series, especially when it's, like, working up to something. It wasn't the entire book, but a nice chunk of the book was working up to something happening, you know? So, like, I feel like, first of all, the time jump, did not like that. I was really wanting to see him, like, in the academy and everything, so much so that, like, when I started reading, I was like, am I reading the right book? I went back and checked if I was reading the right book because I couldn't fathom how, like, I'm now jumping into, like, 2 years later. I wanted to know what happened in between, you know? But it was done well, though. Like, you do get the context, you do get a few surprises here and there, but I still wanted to see it. I'm very curious about all of this, so I wanted to see those developments. But it was interesting because I thought he was gonna be like a straight arrow up, but no, like, he's like down in the dumps, and now he has to, like, get in bed with the jackal and shit, and I'm like, what the fuck? I don't know how I feel about it, honestly. Like, I gave it 4 stars in my tracking app, but I'm honestly not even sure what rating it is to me. Another thing I also theorized on the first book came true. I thought that our little goblin was part gold, part red. That was my theory in my head because he always described as being very dirty. Like, always, like, he had like a, like, always dusty, always crusty, and he never cared about golds. He never cared about their honor. He was very, like, anti-gold almost. Like, it made sense to me, right? Because we ended up finding out who his father was. But, like, from the start, I always thought, this dude might be half gold, half red. And it turns out to be true. Also, the fact that Ares is Aries. I hate my brain sometimes because, like, I will literally think, yeah, obvious, this has to be it. But then it's so obvious that I'm gaslighting myself into believing it cannot be that obvious, and then this happens. What I am wondering, though, after the end, is, like, how did the jackal know? Because he mentions, oh, when you told me this, whatever. And I'm like, what? I don't remember any of it, you know? I don't know if it's me, like, in my little pea brain not remembering, but, like, when did he, like, tell the jackal? When did he, like, how does the jackal know? How do they all know? And also, I was also anticipating him getting caught and taken prisoner. I just thought it was gonna happen during this book, not in, like, the ending of it going into the third book, because it was just the normal progression of it. Like, it just made sense. I don't know how to explain it, but it made sense him getting caught. Also, the part where he goes back to the mines, like, first of all, what do you mean you're gonna spring it on her and then you're not gonna, like, explain it to her? You're just gonna show her a video? Like, tell her your story, sit down, have a conversation. I think this is where we can see his age, because dumbass. But also, going down to the mines is, like, the stupidest thing I've ever heard. Like, I understand his sentimental logic, but, like, it was the stupidest thing, because what is more important to you? Having your feelings okay with it, or your family being safe? Like, people are gonna find out, dude. People are gonna see, people are going to find out. Like, it's very fucking stupid of him to do that because he's just putting his family in risk. I'm interested in seeing where it's going to go, but I'm gonna be honest, like, I don't know if it was me. Like, there were moments that were very, like, whoa, really, I like them, but overall, as a book, I'm not super impressed. I'm not gonna tell you, oh, I'm obsessed with it, you know? I thought I was gonna like it a lot more, but it's very fight heavy. It's very strategy heavy, which I don't dislike the strategy and the fighting, but like when it's the main plot point, the main thing about these books is that obviously there's other parts to it, but like the main thing that happens during these books is like strategizing and playing the court games and playing the army games and the opposition, like all of it, right? I think it just might not be my side of sci-fi slash fantasy, you know? And yeah, I have my hot cocoa, I have my kobo also, and I'm gonna start the next one. I just finished chapter 2. Okay. Literally beginning of chapter 3. And it's losing me. I have to admit it's losing me. Oh, this is so sad. But like I'm not vibing with it at all. Like he's been imprisoned this entire time. It's been about a year now since he was captured. He's been in prison this entire time. The jackal apparently is the big boss of Mars or whatever. I'm not vibing with it. I'm not vibing with the big time jumps. I just hate these really big time jumps. I feel like a lot of books don't do it well. Like, and like when it's these very extreme timelines, it annoys the living crap out of me. So I don't know, dude. It's not clicking. It's not clicking. I'm hoping that it will click, but right now, it's not clicking at all. I've been listening to what do we call it? Morning Star. And I've had so many moments today that I was just, oh my god, okay. Roke, the situation with him, like, the fighting was cool as hell. The fact that they were like, their ship was destroyed, but it was all false. They had like battleships tucked into the back. Very good, very good, very good, very good. I do pity how he died. I don't know how I feel about Cassian's redemption arc that's trying to happen here. But it is kind of like I do still understand it because like he was manipulated into being who he is right now or who he's been portraying lately. Um, all of this to say that I have been moving forward in the book. Okay, but we are at the part where the Reds turn on the Golds within the Red faction, within the Sons of Ares, and Severo comes in charging like a lunatic, and he throws Cassian from a rope and chokes him because he's a killer. And then he goes, I'm also a killer. I killed so many, so what we do to killers? And he ties a rope around his neck and he backflips into the void and strangles himself, aka dying. And I know this is a play. Okay, I know this is like, yes, I know this is fake. If it is not fake, by any chance, any means, if this is not fake and Severo dies, I'm not gonna continue reading this shit. I'm going to be so pissed. Because like my two favorite characters are Severo and Mustang. I like them so much. And some of the others that I also liked already died. Okay, they already died, and I don't want them to die. And so like, but these are my top two. But Severo's from book one when he was wild, and a little wolf has been my love. And if he dies, if he dies, I'm losing my mind. I'm going to be losing my mind. Okay, so I'm gonna keep reading, but if it does happen, I'm stabbing someone. I'm stabbing someone. Okay. They cut up the ropes. Thank God. Yeah, Severo. I love my sweet Severo. Literally, here's the thing. He did this, and I was like, this is literally what Darrow did, where with the lashes, where he lashed someone and then got that someone to lash him. And so like, I was like, Several just pulled a Darrow on him, and but this one is deadly. Like this one is, I'm dying. I'm gonna kill myself. And literally now Darrow is like, what were you thinking, you motherfucker? And he's like, well, I pulled one out of your book, bitch. I love this character so much. He is 100% my favorite character. I love him so much. Yeah, I love him so much. Several and Victor married. He's so cute. He was also willing to take her name, and she's like, nah, I don't want that name. That name can fuck itself. I'm taking yours. My sweet Several. Just wanted to say that Darrow is a dumb cunt that just got Several killed, and I want to stab him because he let Cassian fucking killed Several. And I stopped the chapter. It ends like the chapter ends there, and I can't. I had to breathe before I continued because this motherfucker let Several die. I'm so pissed. Darrow is such a dumb cunt. Such a dumb cunt. It's insane. Like, how do you keep doing the same mistakes over and over and over and over again? And Several pays for it. Several, the loving, sweet buffoon, pays for it every time. If this is him truly dying. Shit's going down. He kills her. I don't understand, cause like, I I was suspecting that this was a whole cool thing, where Cassius was pretending to be like on the gold side, so that the other bitch would be like believing him or whatever, and they were taking him prisoner and all of that as a lie. Like, I get like cutting Darrow's hand because he didn't have much of a choice and the other dude did the decision, so there was not much they could do. But where does Severo and his dead body go into this, right? Because I know Darrow didn't plan for Severo to die. So, is it stupid of me to keep to hope that it's a lie? Is it stupid of me to hope that? Because like, but I don't think it's a lie. So, if it's not a lie, that means that Cassius was only convinced afterwards. And if that's the case, which I believe that might be the case, then why, when, where? I don't know. Let me just keep listening. Losing my hand was not the plan? What was the fucking plan? Climbs over Severo's body. He's gonna inject Severo with something. I'm gonna cry. I'm gonna cry. Takes her arm off to the elbow. Severo's so funny. I love him. She lied. Who killed the babies? 40 children. Of course, the jackal starts to laugh. Dear Lord. Nukes on Mars? The nukes aren't on Mars. They're in Luna. Never wanted to nuke Mars. Why is he bombing everyone? Why is he always trying to die? We already know you're not going to die, dude. Yes, that's why I'm saying. What are you talking about, stupid man? He's gonna pull his tongue out. He ripped it out. He actually pulled it out. Okay, Lysander, coming in clutch. Okay. Okay, boyo. Lysander gave the scepter to Mustang. Basically, like, legalizing her. I overcooked these veggies so bad. Mustang! Mustang and Darrow have a child. Darrow has a son. I don't understand how the series continues because the story from Darrow seems to end. I don't even know what to say. I'm just so surprised they have a child. I feel like the second book wasn't my favorite just because I felt like it was a transitional one. This one I was afraid it wouldn't click for me either, but then I felt more excited for this one and for all of the like revelations and all of like the characters coming back and all of that. Like we got to see the situation with Rogue. We got to see Cassian move back and actually be a decent person. Like all of that. So I feel like this one I really like. Yeah, I really like this book. I think like honestly, like the first book I gave 4 stars up until now to all of the books, but I think I'm gonna give the middle one 3.5, and then the rest 4 stars. I'm still thinking because like this is a lot of fighting, a lot of like strategy, which I wasn't expecting. I don't know why, but I just wasn't expecting that. I also wasn't expecting a romance. Okay, I knew it was sci-fi. I knew like it would be about the battles, and I knew it would be about the struggle for power and all that. I just didn't expect it to be as heavy on the like all of those things. The way he just scared the shit out of me because I was looking at the camera setting everything up, and this motherfucker was just here looking straight at me. Scared the shit out of me, dude. Thank you guys so much for watching. This was the entirety of the vlog, of the part 1 vlog, okay? I was going to do every single book in this saga in one singular vlog until I realized that the first 3 books are about Darrow and how he helped to destroy the Empire and everything. And then the next 4 books are going to involve a lot more. It's like 30 years later. I did my research, okay? It's going to involve their kids and everything. And I want breath. I want to breathe. I want some time to process it, also because like I'm not really sure I want to continue the series. Okay, don't kill me. I don't know if I care enough about the Empire, about what's going on, to continue reading. So I'm gonna give it some time and see if a little bit further down the line, down the year, I feel the inkling to read. Okay, the last book comes out in July, so I basically have until then to just figure out and see if I want to continue reading it or not. Sometimes with certain books, like at the moment of finishing a book, I'm like, okay, that's cool, but then 2-3 months later I'm like, I can't stop thinking about this book, and it just makes me want to read it more or rate it higher or whatever, right? So I'm gonna give myself some time. So yeah, this is part 1. Okay, part 2 will probably come later. I don't know, maybe it won't. We'll have to see. Thank you guys so much for joining me in this little adventure, and several be with you, babes. Several be with you.